Well, hey, Facebook trolls, look who I got here today. You got nothing else to do in a pandemic. Look at here. We got the amazing Ken Garr. Hi, Ken.
Hey, hey, how
Woo!
are you, everybody?
He's here. He's here. I'm so happy you're here. Ken,
Thanks for having me, Linda.
oh my gosh, I'm excited to get to meet you. Tell me about your life growing up in the south side of Chicago to Hollywood Improv. What in the world, Ken?
Oh my God, it's been a long journey. I grew up on the South Side. I've got three generations of firefighters in my family. My grandfather, my father, all of my brothers.
Wow.
And I'm literally the only person other than my sister who's not a firefighter, and she's a principal. So I went to school, I went to college, got a degree in finance. I was in corporate America for 13 years, and then one day I was having a meeting with the CFO of Buffalo Wild Wings, and I decided to quit corporate America and try stand-up comedy. And so I've been doing stand-up comedy professionally for the last 7 years, and about 6 years ago I moved to Los Angeles, and I've been in Los Angeles for about 6 years now.
Oh
And
my
I work
gosh.
at all of the clubs, but mostly the Hollywood Improv and the Ice House in Pasadena. And
Wow.
I've traveled the world, and it's been amazing.
Well, tell me about traveling the world. What took you around the world?
I got to do my first USO tour. It was actually for a company called Armed Services Entertainment, or Armed Forces Entertainment.
Yeah.
And so it was just a last minute. They had a cancellation because a guy, his passport had expired, and so they asked me to go along. And would I mind going to Iraq in a week? So I packed a bag, and I flew to Iraq and Kuwait and Djibouti, Africa, and for 16 days I entertained our troops, the Navy, the Army, the Marines, Air Force, all of them. And it was actually about 50 miles from the Syrian border at one point, and some pretty scary places around the world. But yeah, it was absolutely amazing, and I had the absolute best time. Probably the best comedy experience I've ever had. It was awesome.
How many people at one time do you think were crowded around to watch?
Well, it started off in Kuwait, and there were probably about 300 servicemen and women. And then as the weeks went on, we got into more and more remote locations. And so sometimes we would do shows with like 20 or 30 people. And I mean, they had their guns on them, they had their armor on. I mean, it was crazy. And we had flak jackets and helmets, and it was an unbelievable experience. Really, just could not have been more proud to perform for them, and they were so grateful for me having gone out there. I mean, it was such mutual respect and admiration for each other. It was awesome. It was a great experience. I encourage any comedian that has the opportunity to do that to definitely go and do it, because it's a very rewarding experience.
Yes, and like I go around to veterans hospitals and I get myself in there doing comedy. And
Awesome.
and have you ever done a veteran stand down in communities around you?
No, I've done some local bases, so still active duty, but I have not been to any of the kind of the VAs. But I'd love to. Any chance I get to perform for any of our servicemen and women, or any of our frontline workers like doctors, nurses, obviously firefighters and policemen, I love the opportunity to do it.
Absolutely. That warms my heart and gives me chills all over when you're talking about it, because that's where my heart is, with the military and the veterans. So,
Yeah.
did you have an amazing interaction with any one person that gave you goosebumps?
Yeah, one particular Marine. We were like in the middle of nowhere in Iraq, and these bases are just kind of like these wood, like buildings that are just obviously temporary. And I remember this one guy kind of looked around and said, "Boy, this is like a really nice base." And I was thinking, like, man, this is like nothing. But like, I couldn't imagine where he had been, like at what he'd been experiencing, and he thought that place was nice, you know? And it really makes you appreciate like the things you have in your life, like running water and shaving cream and razors and soap, and you know, a lot of these guys, once their PX, which is like their supply thing, runs out, like they could go a couple of weeks without toothpaste or soap or any of that stuff. So it really made me appreciate kind of the things that we take for granted.
Yes.
Especially during times like this when we're all kind of stuck at home and, you know, fighting over toilet paper and whatnot.
Yeah. You know, Prince William and, Prince Harry and his wife, he is military in the United Kingdom, and they fled the country to come to America. I'm kind of glad. I'll be interested to see what they do with our military and veterans, because they're very pro-military. Mm-hmm. They're always out visiting.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They've been very generous with their time. And, I mean, it takes a special person to, you know, defend your country and to really give up your time with your family. And that was the thing that I found most touching, is that, like, you know, these men and women were away from their families for a year at a time in this very dangerous area of the world, and all of them, every single one of them, loved their country and loved serving. So it was really inspiring.
Yes. I remember one night I went up to the VA hospital because I needed to go to the emergency room, and I was thirsty, so I went to the cafeteria, and a guy rolled in a wheelchair. It's like in the middle of the night. And I said, "Do you want to hear some jokes, you know?" And he said, "Sure." And I told him a set, and he started bawling.
Oh.
And when and if a girl cries, you know, we're used to that, but...
Yeah.
And so I said, "What were you thinking?" And he said, he was older, and he said, "The last time anybody told me any jokes was when Bob Hope came to Vietnam."
Wow. That's a long time to go without, you know, laughter and comedy in your life.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you were there to, you know, do that for him and add some humor to his life, you know?
Yeah. He said, "You have no idea what it does for us when you take us out of what is in our head, you know?"
Mm-hmm.
So that
and you bring a little piece of home back to them, you know? So I'd have a lot of conversations. Like, so I would like eat dinner, you know, in the mess hall with them, and they just wanted to hear about home, you know. And I actually ran into a guy who bowled with a buddy of mine who stood up at my wedding, and like, he's from the old neighborhood here on the south side, and so we all had mutual friends, and you know, and I got to tell them what was going on, and they just want to get a piece of home, you know. They're homesick, and for us to go over there and entertain them, you know, and talk about, you know, our relationships and our lives and things that are happening with us, it, you know, kind of put them at home for a little bit, you know.
Yes.
Like they were at a comedy club in their hometown.
Are you a veteran?
I am not a veteran. No, unfortunately, with my medical background, it was a very quick conversation. I got more metal in me than Terminator. So.
You do?
Yeah.
That sounds like a whole nother, you know,
very accident prone.
I never was accident prone. I served, and then in '96 I got hit by a drunk driver, and now I drop everything. I fell off 2 stages when I first started comedy. I just fell off the edge of stages. That stage has passed. And so I'm no longer falling off stages. I'm actually staying on them now.
Yeah. I would probably, you should probably get some Velcro shoes and just stand in one spot.
Yeah, it's amazing how you have trauma to your body, but your body will repair itself.
Yeah, most times it will.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad that it seems like you're, I know it's been 25 years, but hopefully you're moving in the right direction as far as recovery goes.
Yeah, it's amazing. And if you get rid of toxic people in your life, you can heal faster.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, people that put you down when, you know, like if you have a brain injury, it's a really good thing because your fake friends will leave.
Yeah.
They don't believe it. They think it's lasting too long, you know? And then you get to heal because the fake ones are gone.
Yeah, I experienced the same thing when I quit drinking a few years ago. So I quit drinking about 3 years ago, and I noticed that a lot of my friendships that were based on just drinking kind of fizzled away, and that's okay. I mean, it is what it is. Sometimes you just outgrow relationships and friendships, and I've got a lot of new great friends. And I think as we get older, we kind of like, people come in and out of our lives, for a reason, and they serve a purpose.
Yes. I can sit there and recall really good things about relationships that I've chosen to end. And that's what we should do. We shouldn't be bitter or hold a grudge.
No. In fact, I'm engaged to be married. I got divorced about 9 years ago almost, and I'm engaged to be married. And actually, we're getting married in Las Vegas August 1st, assuming that they're open. And
Congratulations, by the way, on that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But we were just talking about we met 8 years ago, and we dated for a few weeks, and then we decided that we were just going to be friends, and then 8 years later we were engaged to be married. But I was saying all of the relationships during those 8 years that both of us have been in, we needed to be in those so that we would learn how to be in a healthy relationship now. So I think everything happens for a reason. Not to sound cheesy, but we went from dating 8 years ago.
Can you hear me? Ken, can you hear me? This stupid thing.
There you go.
There. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? You can? Can you hear me now?
I can.
Oh, good. You're there?
I'm there.
I hate this. So you were
Yes.
So you were saying that about getting married in August here in Vegas, and then it went out.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, I think I was just saying that I had to go through a lot of toxic relationships in order to get to the healthy one. And I think that you learn something from each relationship that you're in, and then when you find find the right person, you've kind of learned how to be in a relationship.
That's exactly right. Exactly right. So you were when I don't know Chicago that well.
Mm-hmm.
South Side, I would assume that that's probably a low income bracket. Is that correct?
Well, South Side is more of like the blue collar area of Chicago. So a lot of cops, a lot of firefighters, and tradesmen. And then the North Side is more like professional services, lawyers, doctors, finance. And so I grew up in a middle income family, and but like dad worked 2 jobs. He was a firefighter and an electrician.
Wow.
My mom was a homemaker, and we had a nice house and a nice upbringing. But we didn't really go on a lot of extravagant vacations. And we didn't we just kind of stuck around, and we made our own pizzas on Fridays, and when Dad was at the firehouse, we made breakfast for dinner. So I don't think it was until many years later that I realized that we didn't really have a lot of stuff, but we made do with what we had.
Where'd your sense of humor come from?
I think both of my parents have really great senses of humor. I think my dad is very he's kind of like your cheeseball dad, and my mom is very witty. So I think I got it from both of them. But yeah, I think growing up, I went to everybody in my neighborhood went to Catholic school, and I went to public school, and so I didn't have a ton of friends because they didn't really know who I was. And so I think I developed a sense of humor as to kind of draw friends, and I was always the class clown. I was always getting kicked out of class, and yeah, I think I've just always had this kind of quick wit, and really wanted to get the attention of other people.
Totally. Tell me about your Dash radio that you do, and also you created and host this really cool thing over at Hollywood Improv. I'd like you to explain that too.
Sure. So yeah, two of the things I do. One is Dash Radio is kind of like the new Sirius XM. It's a digital platform that you can download on your phone, or it's built into any of the 2019 GM vehicles or 2020 GM vehicles now. And so Dash Radio, every Monday I have a 1 hour radio show that I do called the Garr Show. It's at 7 o'clock Pacific time. And if you download the Dash Radio app, you can listen to me on the Marcus King Presents Dash Comedy Radio. So there's 70 channels on there. There's jazz and R&B, and then they have a comedy channel called Marcus King Presents. And every Monday I do an hour show. And then I interview different people. I interviewed Lynn Shay, who was in Kingpin. She played the landlady in Kingpin, and she was Magda in Something About Mary. And I've interviewed like Ben Glebe from Idiot Test, and like all of these people that I've worked with come on the radio show, and we just have a great time, just like you and I are doing right now.
Oh, that's great.
The show I produce at the Hollywood Improv is called We the People. It's a political panel talk show where I interview, or I debate. I have two Democratic candidates debate two Republican comedians, and so we talk about any topic that's in the news, whether it's taxes or gun control or climate change or any of those things. And so, but the difference is they have to come up with a resolution. So Republicans and Democrats obviously disagree on a lot of things, but we need to come up with answers, and we do it in a very fun and engaging way. And
that
so
makes sense.
Had a lot of success. Right now, we're trying to pitch that as a television show because ultimately, my theory is I think Americans are pretty much want the same thing. We all want a good education, job opportunities, and a healthy economy. And I think we all, at the end of the day, want some type of health care coverage, which is very important. And I think there's very little that we disagree on. And so I'm trying to find the common ground for Democrats and Republicans, and do it with a sense of humor. So,
wow,
and it's a lot of fun.
And focus on getting results out of two different sides.
Yeah, that's the most fun, because you get these people that are so far apart in their beliefs, but we got to find a middle ground. And I think that's something we've lost in our country is really finding how do we compromise. You
should get nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize.
Maybe one day.
Yes.
An Emmy, maybe. Who knows?
There you go. So you are all over California clubs in the LA greater area. You run something over here in Vegas when you come. At Brad Garrett's, you have a show. And where else?
Yeah.
And where else? And you've done comedy for the military. Where else have you?
So I perform all over the country. So when things are normal, I'm usually on the road about 40 weeks a year. So I'll perform in comedy clubs in Canada, in the Midwest, all up and down the West Coast, Arizona, Florida. So I'm really just grinding like many other comedians are. So I'll play any club that'll have me, and sometimes I'll open for some of my more established friends, and sometimes I'll headline on my own as well. But I've done Zanies in Chicago, the Chicago Improv, all of the improvs in California, Laughs Unlimited in Sacramento. I've also done a lot of the different festivals, like the Asheville Comedy Festival, the Big Sky Comedy Festival, and yeah, man, I just like to work.
That's so cool.
I love to be on the road.
Well, I can't wait. I can't wait for you to, post more things that you're doing, and I'll share them. Like I love sharing other people's accomplishments. And I'm looking forward to you getting married in August in Vegas. So maybe I'll get to maybe we'll be allowed by law to give each other a hug.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Yeah, everybody's so deprived right now.
Yeah, I think we all do. Yeah.
Yes. Well, you've been so awesome to come on here and share a little bit of your life, and so that my fans and friends can get to know you, because the whole premise behind me doing this is, number one, I was very depressed at the world when this happened. And I mean, all the trauma everybody's going through is right in our face with this internet and stuff. And then the other thing is, you know, like if I can reach out to people and get them to open up who they are, maybe my people will start becoming your fans.
That'd be great. Yeah.
I noticed I was standing outside of Jimmy Kimmel's in Vegas here, and there must have been, I was waiting for Paul Rodriguez' show, and there must have been 30 people that walked up to the marquee, stared at it, and didn't know which comedian, and so they didn't go.
Oh.
And so that's what's in my mind, is that if they hear you, then next time they're looking at a marquee and go, oh, I remember him. That's the whole point.
I tell people all the time, just go to your local comedy club, support live comedy, and even if you haven't heard of them, it's so hard to get booked at a comedy club that I guarantee that they're probably going to be pretty funny.
Exactly.
So take a chance, and you
Just
know,
go.
the guys that are great, the Theo Vaughns and the you know, all of the bigger names, Sebastian, those guys are great, and you know, and you should definitely go check out their shows. But take a chance and go to a local comedy club and check out people that maybe you haven't seen before, and you'll be pleasantly surprised.
Get to know them while you can still afford to see them.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Ken Garr. I will.
Thanks for having me.
You betcha. I'll type your stuff onto the post, and then I'll let you know I posted it, and check it for accuracy. And if you don't mind sharing it with your people, I would really appreciate it, Ken.
Absolutely.
Yes, and kudos on the upcoming marriage. That is so cool. Thank you so
Appreciate it.
much.
Stay safe and stay healthy.
And stay sane.
I will.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Now he's really, let me draw up my computer. He's really cool. Thanks for watching, Jason Chaney and Christopher Brian Roach. Oh my gosh, you get to see my apartment. This is my apartment. Good thing I made my bed, sort of. I have my papers hidden. They're not really hidden, and they're not really papers, but you get the point. What is on TV? Lolly? Cool. Domino's franchisee. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that won't be happening. All right, well, I think I'll sign off for the night. I get to go and type up everybody's information. I had 7 interviews booked, and 5 of them actually showed up, 2 rebooked. So no loss. There's no losses. Nobody fell through the cracks. Thanks for watching, Jason and Christopher. Love you both. Bye.